We don't really know. We don't really know at all. So we rather than just, I feel sympathy for the church here, but it's a very sad situation that happened across Canada.
Adam Soos for Rebel News here, and we are outside of the House of Prayer Alliance Church. This is a Vietnamese Community Alliance Church here in the city of Calgary, and it was subject to arson. There is quite a bit of damage on the other side of the building. The entire property has been roped off by police, so we can't gain access to the property. We're just speaking with security, and the pastor is here. He's going to be talking to us about access to the facility, but there is serious and substantial fire damage to this building in the city. The great tragedy is for the Vietnamese community here. Many of them escaped Vietnam, escaping persecution at the hands of communists there. They've arrived in Canada, they've arrived in Calgary seeking a new life, and this is what they've been greeted with. Arson at their church. This is precisely what they were attempting to escape. A tragic situation, and one we'll continue to keep you up to date on as it develops.
There are four different groups that meeting here. It's a lively place on Saturday. There's a one group meet here,
Okay.
and then in the morning the main groups, the Vietnamese group congregation meet. Following that, the Filipino groups, and then another church. So there's a four group meeting here.
Okay. So there's four communities gathering in this one building. So this fire has affected more than just one community. It's affected all these communities.
Correct.
And you were saying Vietnamese, Filipino, a number of cultural groups being targeted in this instance. How has this affected, and either of you can sort of speak to this, the community? What's the response been from the churchgoers? Are they sad? Are they scared? And if you want to translate or...
Yeah, I think the initial response is very shocked and sad, because the next thing they're gonna find out is where they're gonna meet this coming weeks. So we suggest it's something we have to go online again. People really anticipating to go back after this step 3 to go back to the church.
Yeah.
And it's very exciting and going back. But now it's a different. So they're gonna have to look for new places temporary.
And it's very sad because for lots of Christian communities that have been reduced, you can only have 10 or 15 people. They've lost that community, particularly if it's a Vietnamese community or a Filipino community. That's really at the heart of their life. And they've now lost that space. Particularly, we had COVID restrictions. They couldn't get together. Now, finally, things are opened up, and we've completely lost the space. Do you know any information as to when the space might become available again, or is it just you're waiting to hear now?
We're still waiting for the insurance, the adjuster, and the district help us to find out when. Just basically now we don't know anything about when is the time we're going to go back, but at least 6 to 9 months.
And do you have any thoughts on the fact that there's been numerous arsons and vandalisms against particularly the Christian community across Canada as of late? Do you have any comments maybe for either the people carrying out these attacks or the community themselves?
We don't really know. We don't really know at all. So we rather than just, I feel sympathy for the church here, but it's a very sad situation that happened across Canada.
I spoke with police today, and they assured me that they are working diligently with the evidence they've gathered. A number of these churches do have cameras, and there has been ample physical evidence left at the location of these heinous crimes. We saw 11 churches vandalized, and now we have an arson in Calgary alone. That is just a small example of the crime against Christians that is taking place across this country. Communities that simply want to gather in peace are losing their spaces of worship. They're losing their spaces where they can feel safe in society and gather as unique cultural communities in Canada, and it is a great tragedy. We're going to continue to follow this story closely and keep you posted as stories come about. I want to thank you for tuning in. For Rebel News, I'm Adam Soos. There's been a meaningful lack of response from authorities and politicians to the arsons that are taking place at churches across this country. Ezra Levant has offered $10,000 to any information leading to the arrest of individuals responsible for these discriminatory attacks against churches. Go to findthearsonist.com and share any information you may have so that we can put an end to these crimes.